our ocean. All right, so I have 2 bottles that we have options for. Okay, you can see this bottle looks pretty intact, but there's a whole sliver broken off, right? This whole sliver broken off in the box. So we just put these aside. Sometimes we sell the ones that are broken if they're usable. And sometimes we just use them in our own art or just try to figure out a way to use them in our art. Okay, so this is option number 1. And this is an 8 by 16 canvas. Let me write that down. Let's see. Can you see it if I write it here? Oh, not that way. 8 by 16. And I know that is backwards, but that's all I got. Yes. So we have the option of this one, which is fairly intact, except for the broken sliver off the top. So in my head, I'm thinking we lay it in, we put a bunch of shells and stuff in here, and then we're going to create some ocean waves coming down. All right. So we're going to do something pretty special with where it looks like white foam is coming down. All right. So that is option 1. All right. Option 2 is a different bottle that is broken. And it is this one. Ooh, it's dirty too. So if we use this, I got to clean it up a little. So it's this one that's broken. And we could totally like do it like this and then have shells coming out, you know, either way. So which bottle do you like the bestest? Yes. Yeah, message in a bottle for the beach, but because the bottle's broken, we can't really put message in it. I guess we could, after the resin is dry, if we use one of these and save some space, you could roll up a scroll or something after the resin was dry and just stick it right in there for sure. That would be super cool. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. Right? So which one do you guys like best? 1, 1, 1. Got a bunch of 1s, a 2, a 1. The first one, the first one, the first. Okay, we're going to go with the first one. We'll do something with this one too. Or I'll tell you what we'll do. Here, this is even better. All right? Y'all know about sprinkling, right? You know how to sprinkle? Who doesn't know how to sprinkle? Somebody, if you don't know how to sprinkle, ask, and then somebody will tell you. We're gonna let everybody sprinkle, share the love, tell all the folks we're over here making art, and they're gonna be jealous if they don't come and hang with us. And just make a comment when you share it, or when you, I'm gonna get in trouble. When you sprinkle it, make a comment that says, I'm watching Cindy do this, or just something, because it goes further if you comment with the share. And then we'll pick someone tomorrow and we'll ship this broken bottle to someone to create their own art piece. All right. So we're going to use the other one and we'll send this one to somebody who sprinkles. All right. So let's do this one. Now, real quick, I think because that one was so dirty, I'm pretty sure this one is, I don't have a turtle, or I would. I don't have any fishies, and we're not going to do any more painting. We're just going to add some pretties. Let's see. Yeah, Kristen has some fishies. I don't. So I know you guys don't know this because this happened. Oh, no, I was live on this on Art Shattered about Kristen, her bathing suit top getting full of like little minnow fish or something, just little teeny tiny fish. It was hilarious. So I'm just cleaning this bottle. It doesn't have a sharp edge. It did. This edge was sharp, but I did hone it before we got started, so it's not sharp. But I'm going to try to clean this up best I can so it's not, we're not doing a dirty bottle. We don't need all that. All right. So the cut is up here where it's broken. So we're going to like just do it in the sand like this. Left side. The second bottle needs a crab or turtle. Yes, that would be so cool. Thank you for being here, Kathleen. Somebody let Kathleen know how to sprinkle. Facebook is so weirdo about this, isn't they? So I think I'm going to kind of tilt it downward a little, and because I want to make sure we have space here to do our foam. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of decide what we're going to put in our bottle. And I brought some things to the party. You know I brought some things. I brought a starfish, of course. I brought both kinds, so we'll figure that out. I brought some oyster shells, all right? We'll need a smaller one, maybe. Oh, would that not be cool? Let's scoot that over. Maybe put an oyster shell. Oh, and I'm going to get rid of this already. It's too big. Let's see. And you know what? I'll include this with the bottle. How about that? Well, we'll make it even more special. So now what I want to do is kind of figure out some glass and some shells that we can add into here, and then we're going to put the bottle back on top of it. All right. So I'm going to get a few things out. I have some sea glass, some bigger pieces, and some smaller pieces. I have some shells, some little baby pieces of sea glass, and then I just have all of these just miscellaneous shells. So what we're going to do is create a little area where we're going to put that. That's going to be cool. I need a flatter piece. We're going to figure out, oh, look at that one. That one's flat. Look at that. Oh, y'all can't see that hardly, can you? We're going to figure out how to put some shells in here, maybe some spilling out the edge, and we're going to resin, all right? So I think it might be best to go ahead and just lay a layer of resin onto the surface, put our bottle in place, and then we can start shoving glass and shells and stuff like that inside the bottle. All right. I just feel like that's going to be better because I can't resin here with the bottle on top. Right. So we're going to resin first, and then we will add all our giblets. We've been doing that backwards. We are on Art Shattered. Sandra, this is Art Shattered. So we're going to resin first, then we'll add all our giblets. I'm going to move these around so I don't mess up, make a mess of things. And we're going to go ahead and mix some resin. I'm going to mix up I think I'm going to mix up like 3 ounces. That should do it. Let's do that. So 1.5 ounces of resin and 1.5 ounces of hardener. Now, this may be too much. It may be too much resin, but we're going to just play it by ear and see what happens. So let's mark our cup. 1.5 and 1.5. Ooh, this is gonna be challenging, so just bear with me because we need to have all that stuff that goes inside the bottle has to be resin. So what we may have to do is like put it down, lean it up, add some resin, make sure everything shoves back in there. It might be challenging, but I think it's going to be super fun, and we're going to go for it. All right, what am I doing? My brain is like, what's next? What am I supposed to be doing? We're going to get some gloves out of the glove hole, and we're going to get our resin, and we're going to go ahead and mix. There she goes. I don't know why that song is in my head, but it is. If you get the text notifications, it tells you exactly where to go. So if you struggle with knowing where to go, if you get the text, there always include a link and tell you where we're going live. All right, so a half an ounce of hardener. Oh, so you're funny. So let's mix up. And if it's too much, which I feel like it's going to be, it's okay because I have things on my desk. Actually, they're on the floor, but that I need to resin for future projects. So it'll be fun. I'll let you know. Don't let me forget to tell you how much it was before we log off. All right, so we want 1.5 ounces of, that was hardener, this is resin. And then we're gonna mix in a bigger clean cup. 3 ounces is what I'm at, 3 ounces total, which is 1.5 ounces of hardener and 1.5 ounces of resin. ArtResin, ArtResin, okay? For new folks, ArtResin. And we sell this in our store as well. All right, so let's grab a cup and a stick, and let's get her mixed up. I'm going to push this away so I don't make a mess. We're going to mix it all in ArtResin. If you're new, ArtResin is the resin that we use, and it is a 50-50 mix, not by weight, but by volume. So you're going to measure out your hardener and your resin. You're going to stir slowly and gently for 3 minutes. All right. So this is our 2 parts. We'll make sure we get all that good stuff out. All the deliciousness, as I like to say. All the gold. We'll get that out. And now we're going to mix, stir. So you're just going to stir gently. You're going to stir, scrape the sides so you don't have any unmixed stuck to your cup. Scrape the bottom, scrape your stick. And you're going to do this for 3 minutes. All right? So, if anybody has a question, holla. And I will be happy to answer it. Oh, my stick is broken, so hopefully I won't get any stuff in there. Oh, wow, Ellen, that's fun. Does she now does she want to make art, Ellen? Ellen is a Mimi. No, this is a one-off kit that has to be purchased. It is not something that you're going to find in your classroom if you are a member. Kind of like the Amazing Grace and the other tutorial, the other things that we have. Okay, Lee. The other kits that we have. They're just kits only and not included in the membership. Kits and tutorials. Oh, Ellen, that makes me sad. We'll see. We may add some vitrograph. Ain't no telling what we're going to do. We're going to mix up some resin. We're going to get a layer on here, and then we're going to start playing. We'll figure it out as we go. Y'all know I like to do that. Fly by the seat of my britches. That's how I roll. My favorite way to make art, right? So we're scraping the bottom. Scrape your stick off in case you have a clump on there. And scrape the sides. Thank you, Catherine. Gotcha. Gotcha. I'm going to give it one more little swirl. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour some of that resin right on to my, let me move it back, right onto, I gotta wait for it to catch up. And I think I'm going to double glove because of that texture. On my right hand, I'm going to double glove because that texture can sometimes tear your glove. And I don't want my fingers in it, right? And then I can just take that second glove off. So I'm just going to smear around. I got some debris. And cover the whole top. Just spread it out. I want to make sure to get it really nice where our bottle's going to sit so that we can ensure that it sticks down. You don't need it falling off, right? All right, I'm going to go around my edge. Now what I'm going to do is trying to decide. I don't think I'm going to do the inside, but I am going to do a little bit of resin on the outside of my bottle and on the edges. All right, so we'll add a little to the edge. So we have resin on all the parts. Let me see. My brain is trying to sing that song. I bought my netting from Hobby Lobby. You can probably get it on Amazon too. So I'm just going to put just a smidge of that resin on the edge of the bottle. So what's going to happen is we're going to put it like right here, kind of at a slight angle. And I want to hit that with some heat. It's unnecessary, really. Nothing's going to be needing to stick to that. I do sometimes just for rigidity, just to kind of help. I'm trying to wipe off some of the resin off my gloves. Just to keep, like, it does help with the rigidity of the bottle. And so I do that sometimes because it just helps it be a little stronger. But I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to hit this with a heat gun and pop any bubbles that we created so far. We'll move back. It'll help heat up the resin on the bottle too. All right, now comes the fun parts. I need to get a paper towel so I can wipe my fingers off every few minutes, right? Okay, so I think the first thing I want to do is add a little glass. All right, so I'm going to grab, I got resin all over that bag. I'm just going to use some Starfire. I'm going to pour some in a little cup. And we're just going to add, I should have opened this before I had my gloves on. I know how hard it is to open stuff with gloves on. Hang on. Lord have mercy. Blind leading the blind over here. I'm just going to pour some in my little cup. Not much, just a little, because we want to save room for our shells. Just going to lift that up And just add a little bit of glass right in there. Now I'm going to just add some resin underneath, right? This is why we only wanted like a thin layer of resin, because we're going to be adding more and more with our shells and stuff. Yeah, at my Hobby Lobby, the netting is where the shells and stuff are, but they probably do have it in the party area too. All right, so that's so far so good. All right, so just a little bit of glass. Now we're going to decide, we're just going to start shoving some shells in. All right, we'll put this one like right in there. And I'm going to get 4 or 5 in there before I like do any resin. There we go. And I'm going to like lower and lift to make sure that it fits wherever. And then once we get all the shells we want in there, we can just lift the bottle off for a second and see what we got. All right, I'm going to start going through some of these little bits of shells. I'm going to try not to be too nitpicky. I'm just going to grab up a few. I'm just going to grab a few out of my bucket, and I'm just going to start kind of shoving them in. And then we'll lift up and resin. Be easier if we just hang on, resin them inside the bottle, right? Like pour the put the seashells in the bottle, resin it, and then flip it upside down. So, all right, I'm going to add these. I'm going to put a little bit of resin on them, and then we're going to layer up. Y'all got some good ideas. All right, so I'm going to hold this bottle up, and I'm going to add a little more resin to our shells just to make sure they're all secure. We don't want anything jiggling around. I needed Steve to be here to hold the bottle up for me. Need 2 hands, or at least somewhere to set the bottle while you're playing around. Right? All right, let's see what we got. I'm digging that so much already, guys. That is so super cute. All right, let's add some more. I'm going to go into my bucket. My hands are so icky, but I can't take my gloves off. This is going to be a messy little project. Let's get some more shells. Let's get this one and this one. A little piece of this, a little piece of that. A little piece of this. And we're going to raise it up and add another layer because I want it to like fill the bottle up, right? So let me see. I can put one here, kind of close to my glass, and here. And we'll do here. We're going to add some more glass too. Let me see. That still works. And maybe here. Let's resin those. Hey is just a busy little beaver. He has been doing some work on his lake house. And you remember last year we were trying to sell his house in Oxford, and it needed a lot of work. And now it is the lake house's turn. So he has been spending some good time at the lake house. That is also where Bad Cat lives now. Y'all know who Bad Cat is, right? So he's been spending a lot of time there to fix some things. Like we had some decking that needed repair. Look at that, y'all. I love this already. All right, let's add, I'm going to add a little more glass just to kind of fill in some edges. And then we'll resin that. Look at that. That is so perfect. Let's put a little bit of resin on that. I'm loving this, y'all. I might have to keep this. I know a friend who's going to be wanting it already. All right, just a little bit of resin on top of the glass we just added. Then we're going to add a little bit more seashells, and then we're going to decide. All right? So, let's see. I'm just going to dig my hand in and grab some. I'm not going to nitpick. All right, so here's what we ended up with. So we're going to add a little there, a little here, here. So it's just a bottle full of shells. Here and here. Now let's do a little resin. Yes, Evil Cat is his daughter's cat, who we ended up with. And she just tried to murder my cat. She's like a Maine Coon. She is not super friendly with other animals, other cats, and she has had our entire house in an uproar. So she has to live at the lake. Inside, not outside. We're not that mean. All right, let's see what that does. Y'all, oh my goodness. I'm going to put a little bit on the outside because I've been fingerprinting all over it. Oh my goodness. All right, where'd my oyster shell go? I think I'm going to add an oyster shell right here. So let's get a little bit of this resin on where it's going to touch. Yes, all my cats are inside cats. We don't do outside cats. That's how one of my cats got ran over, and that was the end of the outside cat situation. Actually, this was supposed to be my oyster, wasn't it? Maybe we'll do... No, we're going to stick with what we did since it's got resin over. All right, so now's the time to decide what we're going to do next. I think I'm going to add a little more of the Starfire to my cup. We'll use that kind of as a filler. And I'm going to take my gloves off and re-glove after I do a couple things. So one of the things I want to add down here at the bottom is my starfish. So we're going to just lay that in. And the sea glass, well, it's going to be that way now. I was going to have it the other way, but a little bit of sea glass because you can't put resin on top of the sea glass because it makes it clear. Now I'm just going to go in my little bucket of sea glass and add a few little nubs right there. And maybe a little bit of glass. We'll add some resin to that. Oh, let's see. All right, I'm going to do, we're going to use every bit of this. resin. Thought it was going to be too much, but oh no, I got it on my sea glass. Oh well, too late. Tis what it is. All right, let's get it on that. I'm going to put a little dollop on the edges here so it rolls down and makes it extra secure. Now, y'all wanted to use Vitrograph. I don't have any small driftwood, so we have to choose things that I actually have. Let me see what kind of Vitrograph I have. Okay, this green, it is called Thin. So we can, let me pull a piece out. We could, so this is Vitrograph. So we could break it in a couple of places and kind of stick it in. Let's see. I'll break that off. I kind of like that coming out of the bottle. Didn't really expect to like that, but Natalie, do you have more than one email address? Could it be that you're using the wrong one? Otherwise, just email customer support at info@artshattered.com and for some assistance. I'm trying to get some of that. I kind of like that in there. Let's see. What happened? What happened here? Hang on one second. All right. What do you guys think? What should we add? I could do some more sea glass. No, we're not going to resin the starfish. It has resin underneath it, and it'll stick just where it is. And if we resin on top, it won't look great. Fills the space of sand. All right, let's see. All right, help me out, sisters. I think I'm going to add, hang on. I'm looking around, looking at our options. Looking at options. I got resin all over my arm. Not terribly pleased about that. Green. Oh, I got here's some scrap. Let's see what we can do. Driftwood, I don't have driftwood, guys. Oh, we're going to get to that. Tiny shells. I like that idea. Let's do this. I want to save the resin we have left for our waves, for our foam, but I am going to add a little bit of this crushed shell from Michael's. I'm just going to add a little bit here and there. Just toss some up in there. Because I need to save the rest of my resin, or as much as I can, for our foam. And I really thought that we were going to have leftover, and we're not. So hang on. So let's talk about the foam. Let's talk about the foam. All right, I'm going to push this back, and I found this product on Amazon, and so I ordered it. It is called Cia, C-E-Y-A, resin pigment paste. So what it does, you put a little, it's like a paste and it's white, and you put it in your resin, and it's supposed to turn your resin white instead of using like paint. Because I do often just squirt a little white paint in there, but this is supposed to be better. So we're going to try it out for size. And it says just the tiniest amount works, and it does. I don't know if you can see. Thank you, Polly. But now we have white resin. I'm going to make sure it's stirred up really well. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the white and I'm going to hit just at the edge of my blue. Move that down a little. I'm going to put a little stream of white at the edge of my blue. Whoops. And then we're going to hit it with our heat gun and blow it towards the sand. Just drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. I'm anxious to see how it works. I'm the guinea pig. If it works terribly, y'all will know not to purchase, right? All right, so I'm just going to use what I have. I'm going to add a little bit to my water too. Didn't take much, just the tiniest little bit. I'm going to add a little there. Oops. And obviously, I'm going to add a little there and maybe a little here. All right, let's hit it with our heat gun and see what happens. I'm going to put the top on that because if it turns out that it's nice, then we want to be able to save it. All right, so we're going to turn our heat gun on high. And it's supposed to push. I don't want to be still too much because it will mess up your resin. You want to keep moving. I usually blow a straw to do this. I may try a straw. Let me turn the heat down. That should help because really this needs to be air to move it. So if we turn the heat down, we won't have a burn problem. It's still kind of warm. Let's let it catch up. It's cool now. Hang on. Hang on. I want that to be a little, hang on, more linear. Not a round dot. All right. All right, I'm not 100% thrilled with that, but I'm not unhappy either. Let me wipe up my mess. I got little white dribbles everywhere. All right, let's see here. I got to wipe this resin off my hands. It makes me crazy. For somebody who does resin for a living, you would think I need heat for the cells. That's probably correct. Let's try again. I just don't want to burn. I don't want to burn. My heat gun doesn't want to come all the way over either. I think I'm going to add I'm going to add a little more on the shoreline, like here. All right. I've just been a hot mess today. All right, I like the linear look of that close to the edge. I'm going to stop because this will continue to run a little and kind of do whatever it wants. I'm going to straighten up this one line. In here. And look at that. Look at that, guys. That is what you do when you have a broken bottle that you think you're going to have to throw away. And instead, you make a piece of art. Let's see. Trying to get resin drippies because I just inevitably put my hand in them. Thank you, Lee. So, what do you guys think? I'm going to pick it up. We'll come a little closer so you can see it a little closer. Let me get my hands underneath. So there is our bottle full of shell and glass. There's our corner. There's our ocean, beach foam. I love this piece. And this was a broken bottle that we had in our shipment. I'm going to hit that bottle one more time. There's a broken bottle we had in our shipment that we may have just thrown away because we can't sell a broken bottle, but we can. We have sold broken bottles, but we don't make a profit off of those. We just get rid of them. What do you think, guys? I am completely loving that. What? I used a lot of different stuff. So don't forget, I have another broken bottle that we're going to gift to someone. All you got to do is sprinkle. And we're also going to gift a starfish. So this is going to go to somebody. What we'll do is go through the sprinkle button tomorrow, and we'll draw a name, and somebody will be gifted a bottle to do their own cute little art piece with. And I want to add something there. It's driving me crazy. Hang on. I'm going to throw just a few little pieces of sea glass, just so it's not a big hole. What do you think, guys?